Okay, so I had this idea to show you guys a few of my favorite photos I've taken over the past few years and talk about the story along with it, and also show some video footage if I have any, which I tend to have a lot of video footage of my random adventures, except for the time I got chased by a hog and almost got mauled. Anyways, let's go and hop right into the video. Okay, so we're here at my computer now. The first photo we're going to look at today is of a young bobcat. I'm going to throw some photos up on the screen. This bobcat was very curious of me. He came within several yards quite a few times, but I didn't feel endangered at all. It was just amazing to see this elusive cat so close, and I get so many good photos of it. I spent around 33 minutes with this bobcat before I wandered back off in the woods, and I'm very thankful. It was such an awesome experience, and I got some really cool footage of it. So the backstory of this image is why I'm going to rate this #1 out of all my photos. Alright, so for my second favorite shot, it's actually going to go to a coyote. The backstory behind this shot was pretty interesting, but I got a lot of awesome footage of these coyotes. But earlier this day, I had spotted a younger coyote, and it actually had ticks on his ear, and I'll pop up some photos on the screen. It was actually kind of sad. I got quite a few photos of him. He kept wandering towards me off and on, so it allowed me to get some pretty cool photos of him. And then a little bit later, I spotted another coyote around the same area, and it wasn't the same one. This one was in a field just kind of walking around, and I was able to get this really awesome shot, and it's probably one of my favorite shots, especially of coyotes. And I also have one of the coyote with the ticks who was in the water, and I got the water dripping, and there was sun perfectly just going on his eye, and it looked really cool as well. But this one was definitely gonna have to be my favorite out of all the coyote photos I have. Alright, so for #3, this one's gonna go to a snake shot that I got. I really love photographing snakes, and I've always loved snakes, and growing up I had a few. But this was of a cottonmouth, aka a water moccasin, and I was able to frame this photo. I had to set up my camera on the tripod and get as close as possible to him with the wide angle without getting bit. So for composition on this shot, it was actually really cool. He had his mouth open, and it looked like he was about to just take a bite at the moon. And it turned out really cool. I really like the sunset on it as well. It was kind of subtle. So usually for my photos, I have a ton of critiques or criticism. I could do this better, I could do that, and I think a lot of photographers know what I'm talking about. With this shot, this is one of the few photos I was fully satisfied with the composition, the photo, the lighting, the subject, the editing, everything about it was perfect, and there was literally nothing else I think I could have done better. So for photo #4, this is gonna go to an alligator. I think this alligator was probably 7-8 feet long, pretty good size. Most of the local alligators are a little bit smaller, but this one was taken during a drought that was happening at our local refuge in the main creek, and there were so many little gators just swimming around. But this was one of the few spots that had water, and from the boardwalk I was able to take a photo straight down on him. I really like the green around him and how flat the image looks, considering it was more of a bird's eye shot, and it just, I think, turned out really cool, and it's one of my favorites. Okay, so we're gonna hop into owls real quick. I'm not gonna rate each of these photos, we're just gonna stick them all together in the 5th category. If you follow my Instagram, you would know I love taking photos of owls, and if you don't follow it, you might as well go ahead and check it out. Link will be in the description. So for this first shot, this was of a barred owl. I'll throw some footage up on the screen, but this owl let me get really close, and he was just kind of dazed off. He was so tired looking. But I was able to get this really cool straight on eye level shot with him, and he just looks so majestic. So this is definitely one of my favorites. Next up, this is a dream shot that I got of a great horned owl at Brazos Bend State Park in Texas. To this day, this is my favorite photo I have of a great horned owl. I was so happy when I got this photo. It was one of those photos you take and you look in the camera and you're like, yes! So definitely one of my favorites. I have a few things that I wish I could have changed about it, but I'm not mad. It was an awesome photo. So for my last shot of the owls is going to be of a short-eared owl. I actually just got that photo a few days ago during the day of filming this video, and I have to say it was probably one of my favorite photos I've done recently, and I really like the editing on it. It turned out really cool. He was like in the perfect pose. It just looked like Batman or something. So that's going to be it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. This was just a random idea I had, and I just wanted to film it real quick. And yeah, maybe I'll do more of these in the future. Have a good one.